This is the Fan Finance Show from talkSPORT with me, Rick Kelsey. Today's show is all about £20 matchday hacks. Now you're thinking, how on earth can I go and see a match for £20? What we're talking about here on the show today is the game itself, your food, your drink, and your transport, all for under 20 quid. Is it possible? Turns out it is. There are some golden rules though to kick all this off. When it comes to your tickets, youth and under 21 tickets, even in the Premier League, you can do this for under 20 quid. Clubs sell their games for £10 to £15 a ticket if you are eligible. For example, Man City under 21s, you can head there for 15 quid. Spurs under 21s for 17 quid. And then you've got to look at your cup matches too. So Carabao Cup, so that's the League Cup now, and FA Cup early rounds. Tickets are often on sale for between £10 and £20. Now this is even for adults. We've checked it out here on the Fan Finance Show and we found tickets for Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, all sold for under £15 in those early League Cup games. As for the Europa Conference and the Europa League group games, well, some clubs will also sell them for 15 quid, including Villa and West Ham. And your resale platforms, definitely think about where you're getting your tickets from, because the average ticket price in the Premier League is still amazingly only around £32. But that's not what most people are paying, because that is the price when it comes direct from the teams themselves. When it comes to tickets sold on resale sites, the average price paid is 83 quid. Yes, that is the casual football watchers. That's who's paying the bigger money. So on the resale sites, go for those games that are less in demand. Now let's get into some specifics. Going up and down the UK, where do you get a match day for under £20? Kicking off in London town, you can go and see Tooting and Mitcham United FC, commonly known as the Terrors. And you know what? Some of these smaller clubs actually feed some amazing players. Mikel Antonio came from Tooting and Mitcham. So what are we talking about? Well, an adult ticket there is £8. That's the cheapest we could find in London. Even League 2 is around £20 for the likes of Bromley and Wimbledon. Pies, £2.50, sausage rolls at £1.50. To get there, make sure you've got your Oyster card or travel card, which is capped on the day. And often, I always say this, but use the bus network, especially in London. You can get a hop-on, hop-off fare in London for £1.75. What you got to do, you just got to get on a different bus within 90 minutes. So it's all part of the same journey. Most of the time, I'm always really wary about taking trains when we're talking about it on the Fan Finance Show, because in the UK, we've got some of the most expensive rail journeys in the world. And buses recently have actually come down in price. In fact, across the UK, the government's got an initiative on the £3 bus fare cap, which means you can travel for journeys up to around 30 miles to see teams for £3 as a single fare. Use it. If you've not been on a bus recently, you might be surprised and find out that that old ticket that used to take you shopping is cheaper than it was 10 years ago. Next up in our guide to getting tickets for under £20 is FC United of Manchester. The total spend we could find here was £19.90. We found a bus from the city centre to Broadhurst Park for £4 return. Local bakery outside for a meat and potato pie and a drink for £3.50, and a ticket standing at FC United of Manchester for £12, with a decent atmosphere wherever you sit around the ground. And don't be surprised to see some big name United players peering over behind you. Staying in the northwest, a ticket to go and see Marine AFC, a famous feeder club to the big teams on Merseyside. We found a day out here for £18.80. Now, Marine have actually fed some big players into Everton and Liverpool, and you can get a Merseyrail day ticket to go and see it from the city centre from £3.80. A chippy tea, my God, up in Liverpool, a chippy is so much better than down south, and you're paying about a third of the price. Fish and chips in London town, more than 11 quid now. Up in Liverpool, you can still get them for £4, and a ticket to Marine AFC will cost you a tenner. And if you want to get a drink in the clubhouse, you can get one for under a fiver. Yeah, you heard it here first. Drink still for under a fiver in the clubhouse. famous FA Cup giant killers, of course, Marine AFC, and a tight-knit ground and cracking atmosphere. If you're in Scotland, then a trip to Partick Thistle in the Scottish Championship, or you can have a day out there for under £20. Tickets £12 to £15 for students under £20, and there is a £20 adult ticket there, so it is a close call. As for food, you can get a sausage roll for between £3 and £4, a drink in the Maryhill pub for around about £3.50, and transport will get you there for £3.50 return. It is a cracking atmosphere up in Glasgow without the old firm chaos. Staying in the north, heading out to Leeds and Ossett United. Well, we found a total spend for a football day out here for £18.50, a bus from Leeds City Centre for £3.50 return, a pub meal deal of a burger and a drink for £7, and a ticket for a tenner. Whereas you can get a cuppa in the ground for just £2. It's a proper northern non-league atmosphere and community feel up at Ossett United, so well worth a trip. And I tell you what, when it comes to tips on food and drink, don't forget getting those meal deals in at supermarkets before you head to clubs. You'll always be saving a bit of cash compared to being in the ground. However, and this is a big if, these are non-league, they are lower league clubs. They need your support. So if you can drive a little bit of money into their clubs when you know the prices are much less than they are in the Premier League, then try to support them, because their model on how they exist is a completely different one to in the Premier League. In the Premier League, you've got your broadcasting, commercial deals, and match day revenue. That's how clubs make money, and it goes in that order. Most of the money comes from broadcasting, then you've got your commercial deals for kit, sponsors, overseas tour, and then you've got your match day revenue, which in the Premier League generally only makes up around about 12 to 15% per club. However, this whole model is flipped on its head when it comes to lower league clubs, and the further you move down. The match day revenue is enormous. It's so important, and these deals for under £20 really help non-league and lower division teams to survive. So support them when you can. Hey, we couldn't do a deal under £20 without talking about a day out in Newcastle, and we found a cracking total spend of £18.60 at Hebburn Town. A metro ticket costing you £3.50, fish and chips for a £5, a bit more expensive than Northwest, but still an absolute deal, a ticket for a tenner, and a half-time drink for £4. It is an affordable alternative if you want to watch some football in Newcastle, and it's got some buzzing, absolutely buzzing local support. So that is how you do a match day for under £20 in the UK. This is the Fan Finance Show, making sure fans don't get priced out of the beautiful game.